You're listening to Fun with Horror with your hosts, Scotty and Andrew.
So, Andrew, if you fail a huddle, the game rickrolls you.
What? Are you talking Guardians?
Yes. I told you I would remember.
Oh.
And I remembered like 2 days later after our conversation, I was like, oh, that's what I was going to tell him. So I just told you. There you go.
Well, thank you. I know
You
that
get
was...
rickrolled. So good.
Do you actually see him come on and sing?
No, just the song plays while you're fighting.
I would sing it,
So
but
good.
copyright.
Yeah, copyright.
Copyright.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Fun with Horror, the weekly horror movie review podcast in which Andrew and I take turns giving each other movies to watch, and then we discuss them the next week. The only two rules we have: number one, whoever picks the movie has to pick a movie they've never seen. And number two, we both have to watch the movie the following week. And last week was my pick, and I picked 2018 horror film Hellfest, directed by Gregory Plotkin.
Nice.
But let's not talk about that movie yet, Andrew.
That's right. Not yet.
Let's just say hello.
Hi, buddy.
Hi, buddy.
What a great intro. That was great.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
No.
Are you going to say that every podcast?
Probably. It's just such a good
What
intro,
a
man.
great intro.
It's a great. I love it.
So I'm going to purposely mess it up now every time, just so that you say, what a great intro, and it was actually terrible.
Honestly, I think anything you do, I'd be like, that's great.
Oh,
Scotty,
come
you're
on.
great.
Stop it.
I will. I'll do it.
Stop it. How's your week?
It's good. It was a good week. You know, it's Halloween week right now as we record this.
Yes.
You know what I watched?
What did you watch?
Episode 1, 2, and part of 3 of Chucky.
Oh, good. I haven't watched 3 yet.
I saw that, so I rewound it because we didn't finish it.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody else is going to understand that
Nope. And I
comment,
can...
but I do.
Okay.
That's okay. Andrew and I share an Apple TV, so he gets to watch everything that I buy. I watch everything he buys, blah, blah, blah. But if we pause in the middle of a show, it's paused in the middle of the show for the other person as well.
Right. Thus, the
Anyway,
reminder.
yeah. Did you like the first 2 episodes?
I loved it. Oh, my
good.
gosh. I loved it. Like,
That's fantastic.
There was one scene in the first episode, and I won't spoil anything, but if I probably would have just gotten rid of that whole scene. Other than that, I loved it, man. I thought it's exactly what I figured it would be, and it's so much fun. Oh,
yeah, and
fun.
every episode it seems to just add more, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep, for sure. Yeah,
I like
fun.
it. Mary and I started watching the Boulet Brothers' Dragula on Shudder.
Oh, right on. How is that?
It is so much fun.
Is it?
Yeah, so during quarantine and pandemic and all that last year, Mary went down, my girlfriend, went down a huge rabbit hole of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Oh, wow.
And
right on.
I watched it like kind of out of the corner of my eye. A lot of times I was doing jigsaw puzzles or what have you, and she was just binging the crap out of it. And it's fun. It's so much fun. But they have some drag queens on there who, like, their whole persona is a more horror type persona. So Dragula definitely caters to that type of drag queen.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
And the challenges they give them that have to do with horror movies and such,
Yeah.
are just so much fun.
Sweet.
So I heavily recommend it. It's a good time.
Nice. Good to know. Okay. I'll add it to my list.
And yeah, we should probably say, right now, people are listening to this. Halloween's over.
You're right. I
and
know.
we're sad. We're
Yeah.
crying.
I'm sad. I'm upset.
But while we're recording this, We have 2 days left.
Yes.
So it's 2 days before Halloween as we're recording this. It's so weird. It's such a weird thing.
It is. It's super
I don't
weird.
know why, but it's so science fiction to me.
I know.
People are listening to this in the future,
What?
but we're recording it in the past.
Whoa.
Whoa, dude.
Hey, what are the lotto numbers, future person?
Yeah,
wait, it doesn't
tell
work
us.
that way.
Tell us. Oh, okay.
It's like frequency.
That would be nice, right?
That would be nice. Wouldn't that be great?
Oh, we would get a mansion and record every week together in a mansion.
Obviously.
Or at least a big house.
Yeah. It's not even a question. That would be the first purchase.
Ooh. We'd buy your parents' house back. I don't care what the cost, just so we can record in that little attic like theater you had. Oh my gosh, that
Yes,
was so
dude.
awesome.
That was awesome. That was a really fun area. Had a popcorn machine and everything.
Oh, I forgot that we didn't have popcorn, did we?
I don't think
I
we
don't think
did.
we had popcorn when I was there.
No, we should have. It adds to
We
the
should've.
experience, man. That was such a cool room.
Oh man, and I just Galaxy Quest. I just never forget how much you did not want to watch it again.
No, that was my mom's favorite movie of all time. And
Yeah.
anytime we were going to watch something, that was what she picked. And I was like,
And there's Scotty in the back going, "Hey, I love Galaxy Quest. Let's do it, guys." And you're like, "Oh man."
shut up, Scotty.
What else? There's so much. I got my backpack. You saw my backpack.
Oh, such a cool backpack. I did
So-
not know it did what it did.
I didn't know it did
So
what it
cool.
did. It was so cool. So, everybody out there, October 1st, Vans, the shoe company, they put out a huge line of horror-themed shoes and products and stuff. And one of the products was this Friday the 13th backpack. And it's just like, I'm looking at it now. It's kind of like blood red and black checkerboard with a Jason hockey mask on it. And I was so hyped to get that backpack, but all the other products were out there, but that backpack was delayed. And
Oh,
I checked that website every day, sometimes multiple times a day. And finally, I think it was like a week ago, like 2 Thursdays ago, I checked the website in the morning, then I checked it at night, and boom, there it is.
nice.
And I got the backpack.
So
And it came, and then last night I took it to work, and I work in a dark bay,
Mm-hmm.
and I went in, I put the backpack down, I was like, "What is that hockey mask glowing in the dark?" And sure enough, glowing in the dark.
I love that. It looks
It's
so
so
cool too. Some glow in the dark is rough and it's hard to see. That one really shines.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's also a tribute to my freaking phone camera. It takes such good pictures in the dark.
It really does. That was awesome. I want one of those backpacks.
You should, dude. Oh, what if we matched?
Dude.
Go get a backpack. Go
All
get
right.
it. Go order
All right.
one right
All
now.
right. I'm canceling the podcast. Bye. I'm here.
There's one other thing I wanted to mention.
Yes, please.
Oh, my cat is in my lap. Oh, hi, Ziggy.
Oh, Ziggy baby.
Yeah, so last week we reviewed The Shining. We talked
Yes.
about it. There's something I forgot to mention to you.
Oh, yeah.
And this is no spoilers at all about the movie, so there's no warning here. But so there's a fandom of The Shining that is nuts. And there's a documentary that you should watch called Room 237.
Okay.
And it is a documentary completely about sorry, I have a cat tail like wrapped around my face. It's a documentary about people just dissecting the hidden meanings in The Shining.
Oh, cool.
And well, it is for a while.
Oh.
What the documentary becomes, and I don't know if it meant to become this,
Mm-hmm.
it just becomes a study of people so rapidly dissect something that it just becomes kind of ridiculous.
Interesting.
You know, there's some good rumors, theories. Sorry, not rumors, but there's some good theories about the movie in that documentary.
Yeah.
But then they just go overboard, and they're like, you know, stuff. This isn't one of them, but something like, you know, was the coffee pot placed in that facing that direction on purpose?
Oh man. Oh my gosh.
And you're like, whoa, dude, whoa.
Bring it back.
Well, one of the cool ones that I will mention is, do you remember Danny's sweater
Yeah. Yeah.
with the Apollo 11?
Oh right. Yes. Yeah. I do.
So a lot of people think that that's Stanley Kubrick making a nod to how everybody thought the moon landing was filmed.
Right. Yep.
And a lot of people back then had a conspiracy theory that Stanley Kubrick was the one that filmed it, that did it, because he did such a good job with 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah, and a lot of people, some people think that he's with that sweater saying, "Yes, I did it,"
Mm-hmm.
and then some people just think it's a joke, like, "Hey, look at this.
Right.
You think I did it? I didn't. But here's a sweater.
That's
I'm making
amazing.
fun of you. My name is Stanley Kubrick. I'm making fun of you."
Whoa. I thought I was really talking to Stanley Kubrick there for a second.
Right? I know, dude.
Did you get
So-
possessed by for a sec?
I
Wow.
did. It's uncanny. Anything else for you, buddy?
Man, no. I think that's about it. Nothing super exciting. I'm excited for Halloween. That's my big.
You gonna watch anything?
We'll be watching Trick or Treat this year. At least that's the
Oh,
goal. Because
good.
it's been too long where I haven't watched that on Halloween, and I need to watch it on Halloween.
I may carry on the tradition. I may actually just watch Michael Dougherty's commentary on the movie on my Blu-ray.
Ooh, that's not a bad idea.
But because I did watch a bunch of the extras on the Blu-ray yesterday, the bonus features.
Nice. Were they good?
Yeah, of course. And they have the original little animated short
Oh,
that Dougherty
yeah.
did
That's
about
awesome.
Sam.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just nice to see how much of a passion project Trick or Treat was for him,
Right.
and that he finally got it made. And yeah,
Such a good one. So fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know next week what we end up watching,
Yeah. Vice versa.
or what I
Yeah.
end up watching, whatever.
So good.
Cat hair in my coffee. Thanks,
Ugh.
Ziggy.
Nat? Oh my god, you're here? What?
It's Halloween. I got us VIP passes to help us.
What is that?
It's a traveling horror night. Has horror mazes in it. You would totally lose it in there.
It's gonna be fun, right?
Why are we signing a waiver?
Nobody knows what's gonna happen in there.
So, hi, Andrew.
Hi, Scotty.
This week's movie. It's time for the movie of the week.
Yes. You picked this movie. This was the movie you picked. Do you like how I
sounded
said
like a
that same exact
Sounded
thing?
like a
two
Dr.
different
Seuss
ways?
book.
Right. This is the movie today that we'll watch, and this is the movie. I spilled coffee on my crotch. I don't know. I couldn't think of anything
Whoa.
that rhymed.
Great improv.
Thanks, man. Actually, speaking of improv, we'll talk about this movie in just a sec. That's one thing I'll bring up. But
Okay, cool.
before we do, I think we need to do our
Yes,
spoiler warning.
go ahead.
Well, just a heads up, we are going to spoil everything from the movie Hellfest. So, if you have not seen it yet, and you're okay with spoilers, keep listening. But if you haven't seen it and you don't want spoilers, pause it, go watch the movie, and then come back for the rest of the podcast. But we are about to spoil everything. How's that?
Everything.
Is that good?
Who are you asking?
You.
Everything you do is good. I'm drinking my coffee with cat hair in it.
Ugh.
One cat hair coffee coming up.
Yeah, try not to cough up a fur ball.
I hope I do.
I do too. You know what?
Okay,
Save
anyway.
that. Anyway,
Hellfest.
Hellfest. So this was your movie, man. I want to know what were your thoughts on what 2018's Hellfest? I'm really excited.
Well, okay, so Hellfest kind of got lost in the shuffle when it came out. And then over time, I don't know, I'm not going to go into the whole story, but yeah, over time I started hearing more about it. Like there was a poster for it up at the place I was working earlier this year. Actually, this Halloween, people have been mentioning it, saying it's an underrated gem. People are wrong. I had a lot of issues with this movie.
Fair enough.
But there are redeeming qualities to this movie.
Yeah.
Before I get into it, though, I'm so curious because I heard your reaction last week when I picked it.
Uh-huh.
And, it's a reaction that goes one of two ways. Like, oh, God, I can't believe he picked Hellfest. Or, oh, I can't wait to talk about that one. So what did you think of Hellfest, Andrew?
Well, so here's the thing.
Yeah.
I had seen part of it, but I didn't want to say that last week because I didn't want to, I thought that maybe that would give it away of what I thought anyway. So what happened? So I didn't want to be like, oh, I only saw part of it. And you might be like, oh, no, is it really bad? Or, you know what I mean? Anyway, so I saw part of it in the morning when I was, watching all my morning movies, like I've talked about on the podcast at, 4 in the morning. I watched I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes, halfway through, and then my kiddo woke up, so I stopped it, and then I just never went back to it.
Okay.
And I think it's because I wasn't super invested, I guess. So I'm with you. It's fine. It's fine. It's not my favorite movie.
Okay.
Like you said, though, there are some moments that are great. There are some really fun moments. But overall, I don't know if I would call this a gem.
So honestly speaking, did you watch it again? Did you?
I
watch
did.
the
No,
whole
I
thing?
watched. I sat down and watched the whole thing. Yep,
Okay,
from
good.
start to finish. Yep, I did.
That is our second rule.
Yes, that is. I followed our rule. I promise.
Yeah. I don't even know where to start with this movie, but I'm about to pick it apart, and I
Please.
normally don't like doing that with movies, but with Hellfest, I sat down. I watched it twice.
Oh, really? Wow.
Oh yeah. If I can, I'll watch a movie twice. I watched it 2 days ago during the day. I just sat and watched the whole thing. But I like to absorb a movie the first time. I like to enjoy it.
Right.
If I'm sitting there taking notes the whole time, then I get less immersed in the movie.
Fair. Yep.
So I watched it again later that night and took notes. So first, okay, wow, okay, I've got so The Shining. I took no notes.
Right.
This movie, I took 2.5 pages of
Oh
notes.
my gosh.
First, let's talk about the characters.
Please.
So you have, the whole movie is about this. Okay, wow, I don't even know where to start. So the whole movie is about this traveling horror nights type deal.
Like amusement park kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So luckily there is a short making of, I think it's 15, 16 minutes that comes with the movie. And luckily that answered one of my questions, because my first question was, man, this looks like an established thing.
Right.
This looks like they are an amusement park, like Halloween Horror Nights or Fright Fest or Not Scary Farm. And they say it's traveling, really? But then the director, Gregory Plotkin, actually said in the bonus features that this place, this traveling horror show, this traveling horror thing, they take over amusement parks.
Oh, okay.
And when I watched it the second time, it's you see it. The Hellfest sign that the people walk through to get into the park, you can see it's placed over an existing amusement park sign.
Huh. Okay.
So thank you for answering that question. I really wish that there was a full commentary because I have some questions, and I would love for Plotkin to have answered them. So let me get comfortable.
Yeah. Let me sit back and relax on this one. Here we go.
Well, no, I need you to give me input because I've got questions.
Oh, I might
And I
have
want to know if you
answers.
agree or disagree. And
Oh, okay.
please, if you disagree with something, because people do like this movie,
Right.
and that makes me happy.
Yeah. Well, and there was some
You
things
know?
I genuinely did like about it. So,
Good.
yeah. So
See, I like that.
yeah.
I like that. And I've just yesterday I saw a thread on Twitter, somebody saying that Hellfest was an underrated movie and they love it. And I'm like, well, good, because I can't get past certain things, but if somebody else can and have a good time watching it, fantastic.
Right.
So let's talk about the characters.
Yes. Yeah.
You've got 6 young adults, college age,
Yep.
and this was my first red flag. When you have a movie like this, you always have an intro where you're introduced to the characters,
Right.
and some of the dialogue just seems a little forced, like they're trying to have a good time. And man, it was like half and half. I only really liked 2 of the characters.
Ooh, which two?
Well, the Natalie and her guy, Gavin.
Yeah. Yep.
Like I liked them.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yep.
And here's the thing. Here's the interesting thing. It's not the fault of the actors at all.
Right.
I don't think it is. Because if you watch the movie, especially when I watched it the second time, the acting is actually good.
Mm-hmm.
So even Taylor, and she is the obnoxious, like, super excited, Ziggy, don't bite me. Ziggy, stop. Super excited, short-haired girl who's supposed to be kind of the group. She's supposed to be kind of antagonistic a little bit.
Yeah. Yep.
But, I just wanted her character to die early.
Me too.
But at the same time, the actress's name is Bex Taylor-Klaus,
Mm-hmm.
and I think she's a good actress. Like,
I
it's
agree.
not the fault of, it's not. Maybe it's choice of character,
Mm-hmm.
how to play that character, but she especially reminded me of, and again, this may be my age talking,
Okay.
but she's that kid at Halloween Horror Nights that annoys the hell out of me. That they're overexcited. They think that they're badasses.
Right.
They go up to all the costumed characters, like showing them how much they are not scared by them.
Yes. Ugh.
They touch everything, and I'm just like, dude, go home, please.
Yep.
But except in this movie, I'm like, dude, get murdered, please. Because it's a horror movie, and that's what you want to see happen.
That's right.
Her boyfriend, sometimes annoying, sometimes not.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the characters, Brooke and her boyfriend, they were. I could give or take them. Okay.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
So that was the characters. Okay.
Yep.
Let's get into some things I did like real quick.
Yeah,
And
please.
then I'm gonna pick this movie apart. I liked the setting.
Me too.
I thought the setting and the photography were very nice.
Yeah.
They did a fantastic job of getting a nice amount of extras, even though this is supposed to be a very, very popular attraction.
Mm-hmm.
And there probably would be more, especially judging by that huge overhead shot of all the people milling around the center of the park like zombies. I'm like, where were all those people the whole movie, you know? But okay, so let's start at the beginning. So you have a prologue
Yes.
where you see a different Horror Nights thing, and you don't really know this until sometime in the movie, but that's 3 years prior to the bulk of the movie,
Right. Right.
in which a girl is going through a haunt, a maze, and one of the costume people turns around and she gets killed. I liked this intro, Andrew.
I did too. That I actually have that in my note. Was a great intro.
Yeah. I love the idea that he killed her and then he hung her up
Yep.
as one of the props. Of course, at the time, I thought maybe all of the people were props.
I thought that too.
Or were I'm sorry, all the props, people hanging, were all dead, actual dead people. But
Yep.
no, it's just her. And then you find out later that she was there for like 3 days before somebody started to notice the smell.
Right.
I think that's awesome.
Agreed.
There's some other things that were introduced in that prologue that I did not like his humming. He hums "Pop Goes the Weasel" throughout the movie, and I just felt that was just such a try-hard moment in the movie.
Dude, we're like, honest to God, we have the exact same notes. Like, this is
All right, well,
amazing.
let me continue to talk about your notes.
Yes, please. No, it's amazing. I love this.
Yeah, so the "Pop Goes the Weasel," and that was indicative of a lot of the things in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
While the idea is somewhat original, the entire idea of the movie, in which there's this guy who once a year he goes into a horror nights thing and he puts on a mask and he goes around and kills people. It's an interesting idea, but in the execution, there's so much that was taken or borrowed from other movies, to where it was like,
Right.
I see how hard they're trying to be scary and creepy. But I'm sorry, like, some guy humming "Pop Goes the Weasel" is not creepy,
Agreed.
at least to me. So then we're introduced 3 years later, even though there's not a 3 years later title card. Would have
Right.
been nice. We're introduced to all the characters. And they end up going to this thing called Hellfest. And what did I write down here? So you see the guy walk into Hellfest. Excuse my congestion. Hellfest gives me congestion. You see him walk into Hellfest. And he takes his mask out of his pocket and puts it on, and all of a sudden he's like one of the costume people.
Right.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It was interesting. But then, like, the people, he seems to, like, have a vendetta in the movie against the kids who don't, like, who act all badass in front of the scare actors.
Right.
Like, it's funny, like, you hear, like, a peripheral, like, this guy's got Superman hearing. And this one girl's, like, saying something like, "Oh, you're not scary." And all of a sudden, his head just, like, jerks towards her. And it's like, "Oh." And he's, like, zeroed in, his radar, his a-hole radar.
Right.
And he eventually kills this girl, as we see in a little while.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the basis of the movie.
Yeah. There you go.
The whole movie, man.
That's exactly right.
I'm wondering if the carnival or the horror nights thing, this Hellfest, is in on it. I thought that would have been cool.
Ooh, that would have been. I like that idea.
Well, I like it, but I also like the idea of what this guy's doing. But, man, it was just presented so unrealistically.
Yeah.
We've been to haunts.
Yes.
We've been to Halloween Horror Nights together.
Oh yeah.
And we've had a great time. The one, like, so I think they got the outdoor area really good. Like, they
Yep.
did that right.
Yep.
With, like, these costume scare actors constantly coming out of nowhere to try and scare you.
Mm-hmm.
But then our heroes go into the mazes. And that's where the realism just ends.
Totally.
When they're in the mazes, you never see any other people in those mazes.
Right.
And I guess the reason that we're given is that they're VIP and that they get to go through by themselves.
I guess.
Yeah, that doesn't happen at Universal.
Nope. Well, and not only that, they're like touching everything. They're like playing with stuff, and it's like there's no way that would happen.
Right?
Not even a chance. There's people in there watching the whole time.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Yep.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yes.
There's always like security in the maze to make sure everybody goes through the maze correctly
Mm-hmm.
and that they don't like get in the scare actors' faces and touch them and touch props and such.
Yep.
So that was a huge one right there. Then we eventually get to our first kill, which is unfortunately the character I liked the most.
Me too.
Okay, so when Natalie, you find out that Natalie has this love interest, I expected him to be some kind of like a really striking, handsomely dashing, in any other adjective I can come up with, like kind of a douchebag, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
And Gavin turns out to be the most likable dude ever.
Yep.
I loved Gavin.
Yeah.
I wanted to date Gavin. And I really, really liked their moment in the photo booth.
Me too.
Like, it was so pure. And it was like, that reminded me of like young love and
Mm-hmm.
being attracted to somebody in that first kiss with them. I love that scene. But
I
then
do too.
Gavin does the idiotic thing. Well, it's a horror movie. It wasn't really that idiotic.
Right.
Well, no, it started out not idiotic.
Yeah,
He goes
no,
off
for
to
sure.
get her a stuffed animal to try and buy her one.
Which I liked because I thought, what a cute like memory from their first kiss, their night. Like that's cute. That made sense to me. I like
Yeah.
that idea.
But then he goes like behind the scenes to do locker theft. And I was like, wait, this does not strike me as the dude who would do that. He would be like, okay, I'm going to go back and I'm going to spend a lot of money until I win something.
Yeah.
But it's just a device. It's a device to get him by himself so that our killer can come out. And this was a pretty good scene, I'll say that much.
Yeah.
This kill was pretty good.
Agreed.
I'll extend my disbelief that Gavin just happened to back up onto a sledgehammer like carnival game. He just happened to back his head up onto that thing.
Right on the exact spot that you had hit.
But it was good. Like the killer by the way, the killer is called the Other.
Right. Yes.
That's how he's credited.
Yeah.
So the Other jabs him in the throat first, and oh man, I felt Gavin's pain.
So did I. Yep. Oh, it's horrible.
And then he Gallagher's Gavin's head like a watermelon.
I love that that's a phrase you used. He Gallagher's his head. Oh, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
So I was a little sad.
Yeah.
Okay, so then all right, then we get in the night bumps ride. This is where the movie just completely went off the rails. No pun intended, because it's a ride that's on the rails. But the movie just, it got me. I'm like, okay, so the ride only like shuts off all power and stops the car for one car
Right.
because everybody else didn't seem to have been stopped. And while it was kind of effective, you know, she stopped in her car. So yeah, she's in the car by herself.
Right.
And then she sees the other, and he's like, he gets closer and closer to her. Okay, we've seen this before.
Right.
And then she comes out, and he's like sitting on her thing, and I'm like, oh, this is getting interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, a whole bunch of scare actors come out, and they all have the exact same mask.
Yeah.
This is where I was thinking, oh, is the entire fest in on it?
That's smart. See, I really
But-
like that idea.
It's not smart, Andrew.
Well, I like the idea.
I like the idea too. But I'm baffled. Explain this to me, man.
Okay.
Like, if this guy has a set of masks that we find out later in the movie, he's got a little cabinet full of different masks.
Right.
Like, where did all these similar scare actors come from? Like, it just a whole bunch dressed exactly the same in the same exact jeans and hoodie just happened to jump out at the same time and, like, scare them?
Well, I thought...
I'm so confused.
I might be wrong. I could have sworn, though, that he, like, found the mask. Am I wrong? I know he found the knife at, like, one of the places that they, I don't know, serve food or whatever. But I thought that was what he did. So he just had it? For some reason, I thought
He
he
walked-
like...
Yeah, in the beginning of the movie, he walks into the amusement park and he's standing in the thoroughfare, the main area as
Right.
soon as you go through the security. And then he takes the mask out of his pocket. He had it in his
God.
pocket.
See, if they had shown a scene or something before where he, like, I don't know, killed someone that works there, that would be fine.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Agreed.
But, boy, I really thought he, like, found it. That's so bad.
Or if he goes backstage, if he sneaks backstage and he finds, like,
Yeah.
there's, like, a whole row of the same mask. And you're like, oh, that's brilliant. He gets a mask that's the same as a bunch of the other people there.
That would have been way more effective. Agreed.
But no, instead it's confusing as hell. And it was just it made no sense whatsoever to me that moment. Ugh.
Yeah.
All right, so then our heroes, minus Gavin, who's been watermeloned, our heroes go to the Deadlands, which is an area where they can all touch you.
Right. They had to sign a
right.
waiver. Or whatever.
They sign a waiver for one ride.
Oh, is that what it was?
It was one maze they signed a waiver for.
Oh.
In fact, I think it was the night bumps, the ride.
Oh, okay.
Because that was supposedly like a 45-minute line, and nobody seems to be too worried about Gavin. She is a little bit.
Right.
But I also thought it was kind of clever that the killer had Gavin's cell phone and was answering her.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
That was kind of clever. Anyway. But yeah, there were some good moments. We had the sackcloth-headed kids that
I
led
wrote
them
that
into the
down.
Deadlands.
Yep.
That was pretty cool, right?
They were great. I really liked that.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yep.
I mean, there was some very good costume design.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure. I agree with that.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, then they go into there's that three-door maze. You know, like your worst nightmare or this or this.
Oh, right.
And I like how Taylor is like super excited. She's like, "Oh, your worst nightmare," and then no, she goes in the other one. I was like, "Oh, what? Okay." But then, like, I watched that one a second time, and I was watching her specifically, and yeah, it's kind of like a thing where she wanted to go in your worst nightmare, but then the girls wanted the other one, so she stuck with the girls.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, but then, then you get to this part where you see, like you just mentioned, you see the other find a table behind the scenes of a maze. And I'm just like, dude, like, there's nobody, no security around. Right? This guy can just, like, wander wherever he wants.
I agree. I think
but
it's
maybe,
weird.
okay, let's give it to him this way. He does have a mask on. So maybe when he walks backstage, they just think he's one of the scare actors.
Fair. That's a good point.
I'll give that to the movie.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Okay.
I'll give it to him.
Yeah.
So then we get to the death of Asher, which I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
The syringe in the eyeball.
Right. Although I will say, and obviously it's fake. We know this. But right when they do a close-up of the eye, I was like, oh, that's not real.
Yeah.
That was my gripe there. I was like, no, that looks fake.
But at least they use practical effects, right?
Right. I will always take that.
So yeah. I mean, I think there were times when the director, when Gregory Plotkin and the creators, they wanted it to kind of have an 80s feel.
Mm-hmm.
So I do applaud them using... Yeah, it's hard for me to fault them because we watch a bunch of 80s horror movies where, yeah, it's obviously a dummy or something.
Right, true.
So I can't really fault the movie for that too much.
Mm-hmm.
But it was noticeable.
Yep, for sure.
But it was nice movie magic. It was cool.
Yeah.
You know?
It looked.
Good job,
The
guys.
blood was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, there was a so then they're coming out of the maze, and they're waiting for Asher to come out, and Natalie's like she's had enough, she's done,
Yeah.
and the one scare actor comes up and just spews vomit like goo all over her. Which I don't know if you caught the dialogue, but the one guy goes, "Oh, you got brundleflied."
I don't know what that means.
So that's from The Fly. With Jeff
where he
Goldblum,
throws up. Okay.
where he plays Brundle,
Oh.
Seth Brundle, and yeah. So I thought that was a nice little piece of dialogue.
That's cool.
Because The Fly is one of my top 20 horror movies of all time.
Ooh.
If we had gone into 11 through 20,
Ooh.
I would have mentioned The Fly.
Nice.
Love that movie. Anyway. All right, so now we're getting to the bathroom scene. And kind of cool, but again, where she's drying off her hair and he is reaching out his hand. He's like standing right there. I'm sitting there imagining sitting in a theater and everybody in the theater going, "Oh my God, he's right there," which is fun. It is fun, but it just, I feel like I've seen it before.
Yeah.
And here's the part that really got me. This one hurt my heart a little
Oh,
bit.
please. Yes.
She's in the stall
Mm-hmm.
and she's texting Gavin.
Yep.
And the other is in the bathroom with her with Gavin's phone, so she hears the little text tone go off.
Mm-hmm.
But then Gavin answers her, or Gavin, quote unquote, answers her.
Right.
And yeah, she thinks it's just a coincidence. So I'm like, oh, text him again. And she does.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, good. So she texted him again, and she hears the tone again, and she's like, that's when she realizes, whoa, wait,
Yeah.
there's somebody in here with me. And then she sees the foot. And then she calls 911. Suddenly, call failed. I was like, wait, she was just able to put a text through. And suddenly she can't call 911 of all things. Which, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, but I think 911 is an instant go through, even
Yep.
if you have bad connection.
That's what I've always been told. So.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that hurt me a little bit.
Yeah.
All right.
So good.
All right, so she gets out of there. The security guard's kind of annoying, but whatever. It was fine. I actually wrote a note about the security guard, but then when I watched it the second time, I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Because I was like, why doesn't she mention that the killer has Gavin's phone? But then she does.
Right.
And the security guard, it's plausible. Security guard was plausible. He says he's playing a joke on you.
Right.
It's a horror night. And I'm like, yeah, I'd buy that. I buy it.
Yep.
Then we get to the cool part. Tony Todd,
Yeah, man.
Candyman
I was
himself.
hoping you'd bring up Tony Todd.
Of course I will. He's like the highlight of the movie.
I know.
He did such a great job.
He's awesome. I love Tony Todd.
Yeah, that was a really cool scene. But then you get to the part where Natalie, and this is such a lame moment.
Mm.
Like Natalie's in the guillotine, and they do the little smoke and mirrors where it's just a dummy for the people in the crowd,
Right.
and it really was. But then the killer is actually the one controlling the guillotine, and when everybody else leaves because Natalie is putting up a fuss outside,
Mm-hmm.
the killer's left alone with Taylor.
Right.
And this was a part I thought could have been an amazing kill,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
The guillotine
Yep.
messes up, and it only slices partly into the back of her neck.
Right.
How awesome would that scene have been, and cringeworthy, if she had not gotten out of the guillotine,
Right.
and the killer just kept trying, and it took him 4 tries, and each time it just bites deeper into her
Yes,
neck.
That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. That's exactly what I thought. Or I thought he was going to do it himself. Grab the thing and just push it down slowly. And I was like, ooh, that's
Right,
dark.
yeah.
But nope.
Yeah, I thought it would have been nice to have a kind of a slapsticky moment, but that gives you such oh no.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I guess when a sharp blade like slices the teeniest bit into your neck, you just kind of pass out for a second.
Yeah, that was weird.
Like, but I guess you also don't want her screaming too much because the people outside would hear her.
Going
I
back
don't
though to that part,
Yeah, please.
like where I don't know, I didn't believe it either. Where she's chained up or whatever, and there's other actors running around, and one of them's like, let's take her out, and then they all leave except the killer and that one guy that's like, you'll do it, right? Like I would
Yeah.
think that if they're doing something kind of like this big with an actual, it could be dangerous. You're gonna have like a team there, and you're gonna have a team ready to get her out, ready to go. I just didn't. That part bugged me too, where it's like that one guy that just walks by and goes, "You're gonna get her, right? Well, see you later."
That one guy.
That one guy,
Yeah.
a wise guy.
No, I'm with you. I'm totally with you.
Yeah.
But I mean but to me that's one of those things that I'm willing to give the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a certain extension of disbelief that I will give horror movies,
Right. Fair enough.
and that's one of them. Okay, so Natalie was causing such a commotion outside with the other guards that the other guard went out to see if everything's okay.
Right. That's true.
Even though Taylor says, "Sorry, that's my friend screaming outside," and then when you watch it, like Natalie doesn't scream at all.
Right. Right.
She's just like very quietly, but intentionally goes to go backstage to stop everything from happening.
Right.
I don't know,
Yeah.
because then Taylor gets out and the other chases her and stabs her, and then
And the guy.
and the guy, and all of a sudden everybody knows that there's a killer on the loose.
Right.
Which leads to another moment. By the way, I also want to mention that the security guard, the annoying security guard guy,
Right.
I knew I recognized him from somewhere.
Ooh, what?
And he was a side character on Under the Dome, the TV show that I worked on.
Oh. That's awesome.
And because I worked on that show so much, that's how I recognized him.
That's amazing.
Okay, so the girls, Brooke and Natalie,
Right.
everybody else is dead.
Right.
So Brooke and Natalie are left. This is another one. Oh, I think this is an exit. I wish you could see my face right now.
Oh, I want to see it.
I think this is an exit, and then they proceed to run straight into what is obviously the entrance to a maze.
Right. Yes. Oh my gosh.
What part of anybody... Ziggy, stop biting me.
Buddy.
Then he jumps off into my backpack. Sorry, my cat keeps like nibbling on my arm while we're recording this. This is great.
That's amazing.
He's like, stop giving the movie such a hard time.
I want to leave this
I'm like,
in.
I
'cause
can't, Ziggy.
I know. I want Ziggy in this episode.
He's in it.
Good.
So anyway, yeah. What?
So they go into
I
the
don't know.
maze.
Yeah, what part of anybody thinks that the entrance to a maze is the exit to the park? Like, so then you have the final cat and mouse scene where they're in the maze. It was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think they made a bigger deal out of stepping over the lasers than was needed.
Agreed.
I mean, nothing really came of it except for the killer eventually stepping through a laser and revealing badass Natalie,
Yeah.
who, by the way,
Yeah.
stabs the killer in the stomach.
Right. Oh my gosh.
Okay?
Yep.
Stabs
where
the
you're
killer in
talking.
the stomach.
Yep. I know where this is going.
I'm going to jump ahead right now to the final scene of the movie,
Please
which I thought was a very cool idea.
Right.
Where the killer, you see him, he arrives home, his suburban home,
Mm-hmm.
goes into his garage, he hangs up his mask and his collection of masks. He puts the photo booth photos in his little box.
Yeah.
And then he goes into the living room. There's a small child on the couch. And the cat, small child, obviously you're meant to think, oh, he's going to kill a kid now.
Right.
But no, of course, as everybody knows is about to happen, the kid looks up and Daddy
Yeah.
goes and hugs the guy. No sign whatsoever that this guy was stabbed in the stomach with a long knife.
And
And if
even when you see him laying there, like where he was later, there's a huge pile of blood.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, I'm sorry, but I think a gut stabbing, and she plunges it. She plunges
Yeah,
it
she
into the
does.
hilt. I think.
I think
Maybe
so.
not. I don't know.
It was far enough where he should have been down
Yeah.
for a long time. Yeah.
Man, yeah. So that just I was like, okay, this guy just hugged his kid, no blood.
Yeah.
You know, the kid's like, Daddy, why are you bleeding?
Right?
Or Daddy's like, not like, hey, it's good to see you, you know, Jackson. But now I have to get to the hospital.
Right.
Sorry, I don't know the kid's name.
I don't know.
Yeah, and the only other, so that's the movie. The only other thing I'm going to mention that I thought was kind of humorous, but you can probably give to the movie, but after everything else, it just made me laugh, was the two girls after they get out of the maze. They escape the maze. They don't get killed. They're sitting on the steps of the entrance to the maze.
Right.
I think this is an exit. And a lady cop is like talking to them and tells the girls, oh, we haven't found him.
Right.
And then the lady cop walks away.
Yep.
Leaves the girls by themselves. They're just no cops in sight. Awesome. Yeah, don't protect them or anything.
Yep.
Good Lord. Good Lord. And so the only so one other thing I would like to mention is, you know what I do for a living.
I do.
I do color correction
Yeah.
for movies and TV shows and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a technique that we use in color correction called power windows, where you can isolate a section, a certain part of the picture, and then you can color just inside that window or outside the window.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and most movies and stuff use it. They will isolate a character on screen, and then they'll kind of darken the background so that your eyes are drawn to the character. But there were moments, especially when Brooke goes to chase after the other after he steals the photos.
Mm-hmm.
That scene.
Yeah.
Like, there were moments, if you watch that scene, you can see the lines of the power window.
Oh, no.
And I was like, ugh.
Oh,
So
guys.
there was a couple things where I felt like maybe the colorist was rushed or something.
Right.
Because, I mean, I didn't hate the look of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought the cinematography was done really well. It was shot nicely. I thought the movie looked good for the most part.
Yeah. I would agree with that.
And I'm sorry, this episode has been the Scotty show. I just had so much to say about this movie.
No, in all honesty, I agree with all of it. So, and even, like, there was times where I was like, I really, like, you'd say something, I was like, I have nothing to add. Like, you nailed it. That's exactly right.
I thought the killer's mask was designed well.
Agreed. I liked it.
I'm still confused as to why there were multiple killers in the park.
Right.
I mean, the police even stopped, the security guards even stop a guy who looks exactly like him. And I'm like,
Right.
Why? How? So, yeah, I won't go over that again.
Right.
But I liked the mask.
I would agree.
I thought it was effective. I thought the setting was effective.
Mhm.
The exteriors. And it makes sense, though. The exteriors were shot in an actual location.
Right. Yep.
The interiors were all on sound stages.
Yep.
Like, whenever they're inside mazes, those are sound stages. Did you watch the bonus little feature thing?
No, I didn't. I just watched the movie.
Okay.
Called it good.
Well, hey, the actors all had a great time.
Oh, good.
I'm going to say I'm saving the best for last, though.
Uh-oh, okay.
Because the most praise the biggest praise I'm going to lavish on this movie
Uh-huh.
is the score, the music.
Oh, right on. Okay.
The score was done by Bear McCreary,
Mm-hmm.
who he's really good. Whenever I see his name attached to something, I look forward to hearing the score. He did Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, cool.
He did the God of War video game.
Oh, that's where I know it. I knew that name. I
so
knew
good,
it.
Right?
Yep. Awesome.
I believe he did 10 Cloverfield Lane as well.
Oh,
which
nice.
I really like the score to that.
Awesome.
So yeah, and I really liked his score to this movie. I thought it was I listened. Okay, so you and I talked Tuesday, and I told you I was going to do an experiment.
Yes.
Normally I don't listen to a movie's score, like the soundtrack, until after I've seen the actual movie.
Right.
But I thought maybe I'll listen to the soundtrack ahead of time, and then it'll give me like a sense of familiarity when I watch the movie. I should have listened to it more than once.
Ah, okay.
Because I listened to it, but I kind of put it on in the background while I was working.
Mm-hmm.
And, oh my God. Tangent. I'm going to go off on a tangent.
Please.
So we have lights that are controlled by voice.
Yeah.
And also with our phones.
Mm-hmm.
My one living room light just turned on and off by itself. Which simply means that Mary, wherever she is right now, she's off doing errands and stuff. Wherever she is, she turned the light on with her phone.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know
that's
why.
Awesome.
But she probably did it to mess with me.
Totally. She's
like,
the
hey,
podcast.
Scotty, notice this. So anyway, back to Bear McCreary. His score is great. And I really liked the main like little theme he had.
That's what I was
for
gonna
it.
say. I did like that as well. The theme, because it kind of went through the whole movie, but it was catchy. It was good. It was good.
Yeah. They also had John Massari do a piece of music, which was kind of cool. He's the composer to Killer Clowns from Outer Space. The score to that. There is a section of the Hellfest Park that is called the Killer Clown Scare Zone.
Awesome.
So they wanted to add some music to those sections, like not score music, but music that would be playing in the park.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, even the second viewing, you can't really hear the music in the background.
Oh.
But it's on the soundtrack, and I think that's really cool that they actually got Massari to do it.
That is cool. I like that.
That's about all I have, man.
That was good, dude.
Anything you want to add?
Yeah, so I will say the one, we touched on it for a second, but the other part I really liked, like the intro, I thought that was great. The other part I really liked the idea of was the girls being chased, the girl we don't know, like the kind of first victim on this 3 years later.
Right.
And she lands, she's like running in the maze, and she kind of falls in front of our heroes. And she like runs and hides behind a tapestry. And then the bad guy, or the other, comes in, and our main girl is like, back off, like, you're a jerk, whatever. Get back to your show. She's right over there. The girl you're looking for is behind that curtain. And he like goes and pulls her out, and then stabs the girl to death. Yeah. And they think it's part of the show. And I was like, that's a really cool idea. Horrifying, like that she essentially just it was guilty by association murder by doing that. But I just thought that was kind of a cool idea that they didn't know it was real, but she really did help this girl get killed. Just like
I
horrible.
also like thinking about that scene. I also like that Natalie. She had some bad feelings about it. Like she had. You could tell she kind of had an inkling that something was off.
Mm-hmm.
And I did like that too.
Yeah, I did too.
She wasn't totally like, oh, it's just fake.
Yep.
When obviously it looked real as anything.
Right, yeah.
But then what did he do with the body, Andrew?
What did
Maybe he
do?
just left it there.
Yeah, maybe.
People thought it was a prop.
Like the intro, yeah.
Okay.
I like that idea. Why not?
I do. I like that idea too.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
And I do like the idea that he's a normal guy. Like
I did
he's
too.
a father.
Yep.
I think that's kind of terrifying.
Agreed. I 100% agree with that. That makes it way scarier that it's just could be our neighbor.
Yeah.
Some guy.
I just kind of wish he hadn't gotten like fully gut stabbed.
Right. I know. Yeah,
like it would have made that ending so much more plausible and cool.
Totally. Yep. Agreed.
Instead, you have to maybe think, oh, maybe he went to a hospital before he went home, and
Right. Or I would have loved
that's
like
not-
the daughter or whatever when he comes home to be like, "Oh, you need more stitches," and then she like goes and gets like a kit, like he's like training her or something. That would be cool. That'd be interesting.
I
But
think
nothing.
that would have. I would have felt that was kind of a trick or treat.
No, that's why I was going with that because I love. Trick or
Yeah.
Treat.
And I gotta say, the whole time I was watching this movie,
Mhm.
I kept thinking, I wish I was watching Haunt.
I have that exact same note.
Yes.
I loved Hunt.
That's
Hunt
why we're
was-
friends.
Yep. Yeah. Even throughout this, I was like, Hunt did that better. Hunt did that better, which I shouldn't have done. I shouldn't like compare, but I really did think, yeah, Hunt.
Yeah.
Just Hunt was so good. It was really hard to not compare it.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions three.
Okay, so I think then we should do our 3 questions.
Yeah. Let's get to them.
However, you and I, again, as mentioned earlier, talked on Tuesday, and just this was a great idea that you had where it was like, our first question we ask is it gory? But we kind of look at this as, when we talk about this, you and I both know that if it's gory or not, since we just watched it. And we think typically we're assuming that the audience, everyone that's listening right now, has seen it. Some of you haven't, and that's totally great. That's awesome. But if you have, you'll know if it's gory too. So I like that you came up kind of with a different idea, which is, and so this is kind of our new question, which would be, what was your favorite kill or favorite death?
Yeah.
You want to add anything
that's
to
a
it?
much better question because that's what I would rather hear from people.
Right.
Like if I've already seen the movie, I already know if it's gory or not.
Right.
So I would much rather hear what somebody's favorite kill or death scene was.
Yep.
So,
Me too. So without further ado,
oh yeah,
what
let's
would
do
you
it.
say, friend, is your favorite kill or death from Hellfest?
So for me,
Mhm.
I would definitely say, as much as I didn't want him to die, Gavin.
Yeah.
Because it was just such a nice multi-tiered kill. The jab in the throat with the end of the sledgehammer,
Yeah. Oofda.
it just hurt. And then it was definitely the goriest.
For sure.
The other ones were kind of just stabbings and stuff, except for maybe the hypodermic needle in the eye.
Yeah. Yep.
Asher's eye. But I think the sledgehammer to Gavin's head was my favorite kill in Hellfest. What about you?
The exact same one.
Yep.
Yep.
We're such good friends.
Yeah, we are. That's why we're best friends. No, like you and I were saying, I mean, if the guillotine had been a little different, that probably would have been the better one.
Yep.
But for sure, yeah, of all the deaths, the sledgehammer to the head takes the cake.
Yeah.
So then, question number 2: did you think Hellfest was scary? Was it scary?
Personally, no. I was not scared.
Yeah.
There were definite scenes of tension
Mm-hmm.
in the movie that if somebody is sensitive to that, like I could see other people being on the edge of their seat.
Fair. Yeah.
If they are willing to overlook the inconsistencies and the flaws, I could see some people getting some scares out of this. And it was nice. There weren't too many. In fact, I don't remember too many at all, like cheap jump scares.
That's true. You're right. There really weren't.
Like the characters kept getting hit with cheap jump scares from the park, but as an audience, I felt so that's a step in the right direction for the movie. That's
Agreed.
another bonus.
Yep.
But yeah, I didn't personally find it that scary, and I was not really on the edge of my seat. It was a case where I kind of wanted the characters to get killed, so I was looking forward to that more.
Yeah.
And that's funny because I asked that question in one of our horror groups on Facebook.
Oh, nice.
I said, I asked the question, and you saw it. I said, do you prefer when you care about the characters in a movie
Yep.
and you don't want them to die? Or do you prefer when you don't really care about the characters in a movie so that you do want to see the killer kill them in some original way? And the reason I thought of that is because I thought that it was kind of a given that you always wanted to care about the characters.
Right.
But then I was watching the commentary to Friday the 13th.
Nice.
And I can't remember if it was Sean Cunningham, the director, or the writer, who was saying that they specifically didn't want the audience to care too much about these characters because they didn't want the audience to be depressed when the characters were killed off.
That's so good. Interesting.
I thought that was interesting, yeah. And I was like, well, that's not how I prefer my characters in a horror movie. I want to care about them.
Me too, 100%.
Because you and I both mentioned in Fear Street Part 1
Yes. Oh.
that we cared so much about those characters that we did not want to see them die.
We really did. They did a great job in that movie of making you care for them.
Yeah.
Great job. Yep.
So, I mean, kind of went off there, but yeah.
No, that's great.
Bottom line, I didn't think Hellfest is that scary, but I could see somebody else finding some tension in the movie. What about you?
No, I think the same thing. This one is, I know, this is one of those episodes, man.
Stop agreeing with me.
We're just twinsies. No, but I agree. This isn't one where I'm going to wake up in the middle of the night going, Hellfest. It's not one that's going to stick with me. Like you said, there's some tension moments, but really all in all, nah, it wasn't too scary for me. Nope.
Okay.
Oh boy, our third question. I think I might know. But did you have fun with horror?
This one's going to shock you, buddy. This one's going to shock you.
Uh-oh.
I just picked apart the movie like crazy, right?
Right.
But the weirdest thing about this movie is that despite all my issues with the movie, I did have fun watching it.
Love that.
I had more fun the second time than the first time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think watching it again, knowing that there's just some things that make no sense whatsoever, I think it could still be fun to watch in a group setting, you know?
Fair.
With other people that just love to watch horror movies.
Yep.
So, in a way, I did have fun with it. There's
Nice.
definitely a lot of issues with this movie.
Yeah.
A lot of problems I had. But in the end, I think there's fun moments.
Yep.
How about you, buddy?
So I'm kind of the same, man. But I think for me, I did have fun watching it. But I think for me, it was just nostalgia reasons.
Okay.
Seeing them go through the theme park was like what we used to do, man, when we were in LA. So for me, like seeing some of those jumps or seeing like them get excited for a maze, it really it brought up some emotions in me where I went, oh man, that was such a good time. And so for me, I did have fun with this, I think, for those reasons, because it brought up some really good feelings from before. So I had fun.
I definitely can get behind that.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I had fun.
Not a great movie,
Right.
but we have fun.
It's not a blockbuster, but if you want a movie of the week, there you go.
But if you have Haunt available, watch that instead.
Yes, man, that's scary.
Whew, I like that one. Okay.
Me too.
Okay, just do it.
Okay, so that was Hellfest.
That was Hellfest.
I'm kind of glad we watched it. I am glad we watched it.
Yeah.
And it just means that I'm even more looking forward to the movie that I was originally going to pick last week before I decided to pick Hellfest.
Right. I'm very excited to know what that one was.
But that'll be next week. Andrew, this week, it's your turn to pick a movie for us to watch.
Oh, boy.
So go for it.
All right. Well, so I know nothing about this movie.
Oh,
You do.
I do?
You do. In fact, you've kind of mentioned it.
I know what it is.
You do know what
I'm
it
so
is.
excited right now.
You've mentioned it a few times of, boy, I'd really like to see that one again. Or, if you ever picked that one. I went, okay. And it was on my list, which is funny. But I think it's time. I think I've made you wait long enough to rewatch this movie. And that is Psycho Gorman. Which, again...
Now, the title is actually PG, Psycho Gorman.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. PG Psycho. I have no idea what this movie's about. I've seen the cover, which looks awesome. I'm all about it. I know nothing. I know nothing about this movie.
Okay.
Which I'm excited about.
Don't expect the world. Don't,
I won't.
set your expectations
Yep.
accordingly.
I will. I'm going with a blank slate, no expectations, nothing. But I will say I'm excited, though. I am excited, as always, to watch any movie.
I am so excited. I've held off watching this movie. I kept thinking, I want to watch Psycho Gorman again.
Yeah.
But I've hinted enough. I've dropped little hints in Andrew's bag of hints.
Like I said, it was time. It was time. This needed to be seen.
Can I tell you a story?
Please. Please.
I kind of did to you what I did to my uncle a long time ago.
Yeah? What's that?
My uncle and I lived with my uncle when I moved to LA. And I stayed in the loft, okay? He had a loft, and it looked out over the living room area, and he would always be sitting down there watching TV. So one day, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey
Yeah.
had just hit theaters. Not really my uncle's type of movie, but I wanted to see it so bad. I was like, Uncle, can we go see Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey? And he said, yeah, I don't know, Scott. I was like, please. And he still wasn't really too keen on it. So what I did is I took the newspaper and I found the movie section. I went upstairs to my area, and I went above him, and I'll never forget my uncle. I started cutting out pieces of the Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey advertisement, and I would just drop them down on him. And the first one that dropped on him, he was like, "What is this?" I'll never forget it. He was just like, "Oh!" And then he just started laughing. He was like, "What is this?" And I drop another one when he started watching TV again, and he was like, "What? What?" And because I was so, I guess, cute and original in my urging him to take me to see the movie, he finally did.
Aww.
And every time I kind of like would talk about something, and I'd be like, "Hey, there's some really good movies out there, Psycho Gorman." When I talk to you,
Yep.
I felt like I was kind of doing the same thing to you.
You were, and it was cute, and I love it. I love that story, though. I just want to know. I wish I had known Scotty longer than I have. I'm grateful
You weren't
for the
even
time
born,
we've had.
I don't
but
think.
Yeah,
when
Bogus Journey.
when I did that to my uncle.
I was probably around. Bogus Journey came out in the 90s, I think. Didn't it?
Wait, what year were you born? Oh, no, don't tell me. Don't tell me. We don't talk about our ages.
Okay.
Anyway.
Oh,
Well, that
that's
was
awesome.
wonderful. I think we decided, yeah, so everybody that's still listening, yeah, we changed up just the slightest changes to our format.
Right.
We decided that it's okay for us to maybe go on a little bit about the movies that we talk about. We're going to keep the intro and this section to a certain length, but, if we talk about our movie of the week for 40, 45 minutes, that's fine.
Yeah.
And then, as you said, we changed one of our three questions.
Yeah.
Which I really like, and
Me too.
I'm gonna really enjoy that question when we both have different kills that we
Agreed.
prefer.
Yeah, this one just didn't have many to choose from that were great. So,
I think Saw, when we did Spiral, I think we both had two different kills that were more notable to us.
yeah,
But I'll have to go back and listen to that one again.
I know. No. You know what? Everyone, go back and listen.
Yeah, go back and listen to Spiral. It's probably our best podcast ever. Andrew,
Scotty.
it's been a wonderful week.
It has. This was fun, as always.
This is always fun. Fun with horror.
Fun with horror.
But now it's time to say goodbye.
Aww, I hate this part.
Then let's not say goodbye. Let's podcast forever.
All right.
No, let's just say I'll talk to you later.
That works. I like that.
And happy Halloween, buddy.
Happy Halloween to you, and happy Halloween to everyone listening. Well,
Go ahead and plug all our things.
Oh, yeah. So please, hop on social media. We have all of them. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. We'd love to hear from you if you have questions or comments or anything. We'd just love to chat with you and talk with you and talk horror. We also have our Spotify playlist, which has over 10 hours of music from many different fantastic horror films, quite a few of them from what we are talking about. So please hop on there, take a listen. Definitely gets you in the mood for spooky times. So take a listen.
Love it.
Thanks, man.
Love it.
Love you.
I think Ziggy joined you, although nobody can ever hear my cats when they meow.
know. Poor kitty.
But did you hear him?
I didn't even hear him. I was probably
okay.
talking too loud.
No. Would you not talk so loud, please?
Sorry. I'll whisper.
Whisper. All right, buddy. Well,
all right.
I will talk to you next week when we discuss Psycho Gorman. PG
Yes.
Psycho Gorman.
PG Psycho Gorman next week.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right.
All
Love
right.
you, buddy.
Love you too. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
So just a quick little addition here. I mentioned in the podcast that I was confused that there were so many guys dressed exactly like the other. But after watching a video, I guess it turns out that the other is an official mascot of that particular horror night haunt place. And he's mentioned over the loudspeaker after the ride stops. So, again, very quick mention. And I think that could have been explained a little bit better because I was confused as hell even after watching it twice. So, that's all. Thank you.
You got Brundlefly!